You all did such a great job in class catching on to our party and war with our integers. That we're going to take just this short video and get a little bit more familiar with our problems in a way that we can manipulate them. That means move them around. So take a look at my problem at the very top. I've got negative 21 plus 25. Hopefully you're sitting here thinking that is two integers, negative 21 and positive 25. Together they are having a war, and the positives would win that war by 4. So negative 21 plus 25 is a positive 4. But that's not the only way to write that problem. Because we're using integers just sitting beside each other, we can move those integers around. So before I do that, I just want to prove to you, if I had the problem 3 plus 5, which is extremely basic and you're very familiar with, you would also agree that I could write 5 plus 3 and I would get the same result. So that's what I want you to understand, is when we're working with our integer problems, they are going to be written with one of the integers first and one second, but we can always manipulate them around, and they might look slightly different, but they're going to give us the same value. So back to my negative 21 plus 25. I want you to think about that, of course, as negative 21 and as positive 25. And like our example at the top with the 3 and the 5, we can change them around. So I can put my positive 25 first, and I can put my negative 21 second. Now let's look for a second. Back at the top, in my original problem, I had negative 21 plus 25, and we said that should be a positive 4 when we evaluated that integer problem. But look at this, 25 minus 21. Well, you know that as subtraction, but now you know it's really a positive 25 and a negative 21, and when we put them together, they make a positive 4. So we were able to switch it around as long as we made sure we kept our 21 negative. That's very important. It stayed negative, and our 25 stayed positive. Because if we didn't, we would not be working with the same two integers. It's very important that we keep our integers the same. I want to take that a little bit farther, because something else that you're going to be seeing a lot of are parentheses. We're going to be using them a lot. You're going to be seeing them a lot. Sometimes they have a very important function, sometimes not so much. So what I mean by that is I could write my 25, my positive 25, and I could show that I want to add it to a negative 21. So look at that again and make sure you agree with me that we still are looking at our integer of positive 25 and our second integer of negative 21. The only thing we're saying is that we want to add them together, which that is what we're doing. We are combining them or adding them together. When there's a war, we're combining them. And it's still going to come out to be a positive 4. However, the one rule that we follow a lot is that there is not normally allowed to be two signs right in a row beside each other unless they're separated by something. So typically, when someone writes 25 plus negative 21, we use these parentheses to kind of separate the plus and the minus, instead of having two signs right in a row. So again, this is a third way to write the very same problem, negative 21 plus 25, 25 minus 21, or 25 plus negative 21. So now let's take a look at my second problem that I started with at the top of the video here. I have a negative 3 minus 5. So think to yourself first, is this a party or a war? This is a party. We have 3 negatives and 5 negatives that showed up to my party. So altogether, we have 8 negatives at the party, which negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. But what if I want to rewrite that problem so it is the same problem with the same result, but it looks different? Well, I'm hoping maybe you're thinking of some ideas. One thing we can do is what we just did. We can leave them in the same order, but I can say -3 plus -5. And remember, I need to have those parentheses so that I don't have this two signs smack dab next to each other. So -3 minus 5 or -3 plus -5 mean the very same thing. Can you think of another way to write this problem? Well, remember with our first situation, what we did was flip-flop the order that our integers were written in. So my -3 plus -5 or -3 minus 5, if I flip-flop it, I could put my -5 first and then my -3. I still am working with two negative integers, a -5 and a -3. But there is one more way. I can take my -5 first and I can add it to my -3 and make sure that that guy is in parentheses so the plus and the minus are not beside each other. So we have learned that there are 4 different ways to write the same problem with integers by just manipulating our integers or putting them into different orders. So you are going to practice this on your own, kiddos, on the next slide, and then check your work on the slide after that. Good luck.